Hi there, welcome to the first Tips Tuesday video of the year. My name is Tarsh and I'm really excited and grateful to be able to offer this to you today. We're going to be talking about something that I'm really passionate about, and it's actually my mission in my life to help women entrepreneurs who are experiencing financial anxiety and overwhelm find joy and abundance in their business. So today we're going to be talking about money mindset and how to challenge and clear any money programming that you might have, any old money stories or money blocks that you have. I'm going to be taking you through a process called the money map, which is a really fantastic exercise that's able to really clearly identify how your money blocks are showing up for you and how strongly they might be affecting your business. So I'll tell you a little bit about me. My name is Tarsh. I'm a holistic therapist and a tapping into wealth coach. And I love this work because I really believe that once we can get beyond the money blocks and the money programming that we have, we're really able to see a whole new level of success in our businesses. I've experienced this firsthand. Prior to doing this tapping into wealth coaching, I was working, and I still do work, as a holistic therapist specializing in shiatsu therapy and kinesiology. And I really experienced firsthand that no matter how great a therapist you are, no matter how many wonderful testimonials and fantastic reviews you receive, if you have really entrenched money programming that is really able to run the show, then things can be really hard. And that's what I experienced. It was a real struggle to maintain a really good client base. And it wasn't until I really went inside and cleared a lot of the old stuff that was there that was really limiting me from doing the best that I knew that I was capable of doing. Once I cleared that, I was able to really experience a whole new level of success in my business. So my intention for this video is to give you an understanding of the old programming and the fears and the limiting beliefs that you have around money and around finances that are potentially keeping you really stuck. If these limiting beliefs are really strong and if they're really running the show, then, like I said before, it can be quite paralyzing, actually. And until we really have a look and dig deep into clearing these, then they can really be quite profound and quite powerful. So before we get started, I just want to talk a little bit about the nature of this work. Because we're looking at potentially decades-old programming, when we start to really uncover what's beneath them, what a lot of people can find is that it can be quite triggering. And so if at any point you feel like you're getting too triggered, you want to turn off the video, I really encourage you to just stick with it and to really see it out to the end, especially to when we do some tapping at the end. And that is the most powerful part of this work. There's a real mind, body, and money connection, and you might have an experience of that, or you might not. But especially if these money programs are really strong in you, there is actually a physical, visceral reaction that happens to our body. Our nervous system is running with these traumas. It's potentially running all the time. So if you feel like you are getting triggered, then please see out the video. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, but I'm going to be using a fantastic technique called tapping, or emotional freedom technique, which is a mind-body tool that actually clears trauma from the nervous system. It's clinically proven. It's used a lot in the United States with returned servicemen coming back from war with post-traumatic stress disorder. It's used very effectively. I absolutely love it. I think it's really, really an amazing tool. And if you walk away from this video with anything, please let it be this tapping technique, because you can apply it to any aspect of your life where you're facing challenges, and it's a really, really fantastic tool to know. So I work with the philosophy of leaving no stone unturned when it comes to delving into this stuff. If you really want to see transformation happen in your financial story and thus in your business, then I really urge you to have the willingness to go deep and to really look, shine the spotlight of clarity on all of these old programs which are there in you, all these old limiting beliefs, which, like I said before, they potentially have been behind you running the scene for decades. A lot of this stuff gets passed on from our parents, and we soak it up generally before the ages of 5 to 7. So, before we even had any concept of really what money is, we were potentially downloading old programming about money that was probably passed on from their parents and passed on from their parents and their parents. It's it can be a really intergenerational thing. So I see this work as being quite profound in that if you can cut this cycle off, if you can stop it in its tracks, then you're not passing that on to your children down the line, and you're able to really take your success to a whole new level. Okay, so I want to ask you a question. How do you feel about money? What's your relationship with money? If you just kind of check in and, think about your finances, you might even think about bills you've got to pay or how well your business is doing, how much money your business is bringing in. What does that evoke in you, in your physical body? So we're going to be doing some work with this, and then the tapping that I'll be doing later will be really effective at clearing a lot of this stuff. So if you work a lot with the law of attraction or with manifestation processes, and you're finding that you're doing all this work, but for some reason you're not getting the results that you want, it's most likely because there's a lot of these limiting beliefs and this old programming that's in your subconscious running the show. And if you, no matter how consciously you think you're, offering up the energy of, gratefulness and gratitude, if really what's going on in the background, you're running the emotions of anxiety or fear or nervousness when you think about money, then there's going to be a bit of an imbalance there. And they say that the main emotion to try and cultivate when working with manifestation is gratitude. So we'll be doing a bit of tapping at the end to call in that gratitude and to call in being open to receiving more money. But first of all, we need to have a look at these blocks that are there in the first place and how we can go about clearing them. Okay, so let's get started. What I'd like you to do is just have a pen and a piece of paper handy. So if you don't, just pause the video and go and grab one and come back. And hopefully you're sitting in a chair. Just get really comfortable, put your feet on the ground, and I want you to write down on that piece of paper how much money you have in savings in the bank. If you have no money in savings, write down 0. If you're not sure, just take a guess. But I want you to write down the amount of money that you have in savings in your bank account. So now putting down the pen and picking up the piece of paper. And I want you to just look at that number. Just look at that number and notice what comes up in your body. What are you feeling? What are the main emotions? I want you to try and get to 2 main emotions when you look at that number. What I hear a lot is fear or anxiety. I also hear embarrassment a lot, and embarrassment really means shame. Just try and really dig deep and have a look, have a really good inquire into what are the emotions that are coming up. Maybe you might be hearing words. What are those words? Try and really isolate those words. Okay. Maybe you're looking at that piece of paper and you're thinking, wow, I'm doing actually really well. And if that's the case, I really congratulate you. Well done. So now looking at that number, I want you to say something out loud. I want you to look at that number and I want you to say, it's not enough. And then I want you to rate how true that feels on a scale of 1 to 10. With 10 being it's really true. It's not enough. So just notice when you're looking at that number of savings, how much money you have in your savings account, does it bring up any memories of any events that happened in the past, whether it was to do with your parents or any financial traumas that you had? Yes, there is such a thing as a financial trauma, and it can be very debilitating. So just notice if there's any events that when you look at that number, it makes you think of. Okay, so we've got 2 emotions, and we've got the one main thing that you're saying to yourself. So if you could make sure that you're really clear on that. So next, what we're going to be looking at is debt. And if that was a little bit uncomfortable, then potentially this is going to get a little bit more uncomfortable. But like I said, it's so important to have real clarity around this. And especially when it comes to debt, people like to bury their head in the sands. in the sand. I know that that was certainly a pattern of mine. I wouldn't even look at my credit card statements when they came until it was too late, and I'd have phone calls from the debt collectors. So just, really be open to exploring this, because the more consciousness you can bring, the easier it is to clear. The more light of clarity you can shine on this stuff, the easier it is to clear. So like we did before, I want you to write down how much money you have in debt. And we're not talking about mortgages. We're talking about debt that is kind of hanging over your shoulders, whether that's credit card debt or student loans or whatever that is. And if you're not sure, just take a guess. So I want you to write down how much debt you have on that piece of paper. And like we did before, I want you to try and check in with your body. What are you feeling in your body? Just going to get out of the sun. What are you feeling in your body when you look at that number, the amount that you have in debt? What are the two main feelings that are coming up? Whether it's anxiety or I almost used to feel shock. Oh my God, do I really have that much money in debt? Shit. So try and isolate the two main feelings that you're experiencing, and also the one main thing that you're saying to yourself in your head. And you might even like to finish this sentence. If you look at that number and you think to yourself, this means I'm what? What we're trying to look at is, what do you equate that debt with? What do you make that debt mean about yourself? Because if you can really get to the heart of this, it's an amazingly enlightening thing to realize, wow, I make the debt that I have mean that I'm worthless, or mean that I'm an idiot, or that I'm an absolute loser. And these are all limiting beliefs and programs, like old programming that you have, that you've picked up along the way, that is making itself known. Often unconsciously, we have no conscious idea that that's there, but it is, and it's running the show. So just look at you should have 4 emotions connected to savings and then to debt as well. And just look at that. And I want you to just give yourself a little bit of compassion, because if you have these emotions coming up in you all the time when you think about money, it's no wonder that you're potentially not spending enough time focused on your money goals, focused on your financial goals. And you know how they say that one of the best business strategies we can do is set goals, set strategic financial goals. But in my experience, I reckon up to 80% of small businesses don't actually set goals. Why? Because it's triggering. It brings up all of this old stuff, old programming, old stories, old money blocks, old belief systems, old things that your dad used to say to you, things that probably his dad said to him, that gets passed down about the nature of money, the nature of how hard you have to work for money, the nature of how much leisure time you allow yourself to have. So it's really, it's quite profound when you really think about it. And just, give yourself a little bit of compassion, because it's really no wonder that you're potentially avoiding this stuff. If you're not, I really congratulate you, and you potentially don't have any or many strong money blocks. So well done. You've obviously been doing a lot of work around that, and that's really fantastic. Okay, so we're going to do a bit of tapping, emotional freedom technique, it's also called. And the way it works is we tap on acupuncture points on the face. So you can do either one hand or 2 hands. So we do the corner of the eyebrow, the side of the eyebrow, the corner of the eye, the top of the cheekbone, under the nose, top of the chin, the collarbone, and the top of the head. And we're going to be tapping and we're going to be talking at the same time. So I think the reason why tapping is so effective is because it combines a number of different elements. It activates the meridian system, the Chinese medicine acupuncture system, which has a direct influence on the nervous system. But we're also voicing things that potentially we've never voiced before. Potentially we've kind of kept all of these beliefs right deep down, and it's like, I don't want anyone to know that that's what's there for me. And you know what they say, the more we resist, the more things persist. And it's really true. So I'm going to do a tapping round on it's not enough, on the money that I'm making is not enough. And if initially it feels a little bit weird, just go with it. You might also wonder, we start off voicing potentially the negative things that are there. So it might sound like, we're voicing things that sound really negative, and that's part of the process with tapping. We're getting out that which needs to be spoken, and we're clearing it from our nervous system at the same time. So I'm going to be reading a little script that I have here, and I'll be saying some words, and I want you to repeat them after me and just move to the next acupuncture point when you feel ready, or when I do, whatever works for you. We're kind of tapping, 5 to 6 times on each point. And if something doesn't resonate with you that I'm saying, just swap it to something that does. Whether you want to look at the piece of paper that you have with, the emotions and the words, the things that you say to yourself about money, you can always swap that in. Okay. So we're going to start tapping here. I'm going to just do one hand, corner of the eye. Even though the truth is, I try to be positive, this number is just not enough. And I really feel it. The money that I'm making in my business is not enough. I feel it in the pit of my stomach. I really feel it. It's depressing. It's scary. It feels hopeless. And I'm so disappointed. But I totally honor that this is what I'm feeling. I honor that these are my emotions. And I'm so open to healing them. Even though this money just is not enough, I'm going to accept all these awful feelings about that. This hopelessness, this hopeless feeling, all my fears. Oh my God, what if it never changes? What if I never start to see more money come into my business? I'm really feeling all this pain of not enough money. Even though this money is not enough, I'm not earning enough. I honor who I am, and I honor my willingness to change. All this heavy emotion, I honor my emotion. Even though my income just is not enough, I'm totally open to all the millions of ways that money can show up for me in this present moment. I am a powerful manifester, and I am open to changing my vibration about money. I am totally open to all the ways that money can start showing up for me. And everything I need, I'm now attracting into my life. Ideas, inspirations, actions, circumstances, people. I'm now saying yes to money. I'm now saying yes to asking for more money. Yes to deserving more money. Yes to money. Okay, so just take a big deep breath. We can go on a bit of a roller coaster ride with tapping. It can be pretty, it can bring up a lot of stuff. But hopefully you kind of went up on a bit of an emotional roller coaster and you've come back down. Hopefully you're feeling a bit more settled within yourself. So we're almost coming to the end of my video. I just want to quickly say that, I think the number one block in women when it comes to money has to do with deserving. Whether we feel we deserve to ask for money, whether we feel we deserve money at all. So maybe that's something you might want to have a bit of an inquire into in your life, in your business. But yeah, what I love about this work is that it's totally about changing, about honouring the way you're feeling and being open to changing the programming that you have, because we are all capable of changing the inner programming and the inner resistance that we have. So if you really resonated with this work, I invite you to reach out. I'm offering a free 1-hour clarity strategy action call where we can have a really good inquire into your business and your money stories, and I can offer you some tips. There'll be an opportunity if you want to do some further work with me. I'll be offering an opportunity to explore that more. But yeah, I'd love to hear your feedback. Please let me know what you thought of this tapping, what came up for you. If there's anything you need help with, reach out. We are a fantastic community of amazing women. I'm so happy and grateful and excited to be a part of this community. So I think that's all for me today. I hope you have a fantastic week and enjoy the long weekend again next week as well. Okay, see you later.